go for bus service. A growing number of Hoosiers are entering tax season as victims of identity theft, and many of their children are even being claimed on strangers' tax returns.
And tonight, our Call 6 investigators get an inside look at what happens when people try to dig their way out of these problems.
Is the IRS doing enough? Some victims say the tax agency is now making it easier on the identity thieves and nearly impossible for those who are the victims.
Call 6 investigator Stephen Dean has more on what he's finding.
We're tracking new reports every week all over Indianapolis. People having taxes filed in their names by identity thieves. The IRS says it's important to call them fast to minimize the damage, but now we're finding even when people do that, the IRS is putting victims through amazing hassles. These could be the 5 youngest victims of identity theft you'll ever meet. In their family's Northwest Indianapolis apartment, a favorite toy or a kitten keep them occupied, but their mom is focused on taking their identities back, and she says the IRS keeps on stalling her.
It's like you're forced to give up because you don't know what else to do. Basically, that's the way I felt. I felt like I'm forced to give up because, I don't know what else to do. I did everything I could do.
Elizabeth Osorio's 3-year-old twins, 2 girls, 6 and 9, and her 10-year-old son are all listed as dependents on someone else's tax returns. A perfect stranger's claiming them like they don't even live here, and that's costing their mom.
This is children. They're using the children's information.
That means someone who's never even met these kids is getting a tax break for raising them, and their mom isn't allowed to claim her own kids.
I'm calling about this ongoing issue.
She keeps on calling the IRS. Even after long waits, she says she's getting nowhere.
She hung up on me. How rude.
Osorio tells police it all started in 2011 at this Walmart when all 5 kids' Social Security cards were stolen. She now has replacement cards after a thief lifted her purse from her shopping cart on West 86th Street.
I don't feel like I've been helped. It's been 3 years now. This is the 3rd year. And I'm sure they're going to file the taxes again, the people who's using my kids' stolen information.
Since 2011, the IRS reports a 7-fold increase in the number of criminal investigations into tax return identity theft. The Treasury Inspector General says that could put $26 billion in the pockets of scammers in the next 5 years. Just this month, as tax time kicks in, we've found case after case where people tell Indianapolis police they can't file their taxes because someone else already has, using their name. Heather Humble, whose 3-year-old son was claimed on someone else's taxes, says the IRS would not help her either.
It's so ridiculous that I would have to spend all of this time, energy to prove that my son actually lives with me to claim him when the person who fraudulently claimed him didn't have to provide a single bit of evidence that the child was, in their care at all.
The IRS tells us identity theft is their #1 priority. They decline to answer our questions on camera about why it's so tough for victims to get it corrected if that's the case. But spokesman Luis Garcia told us the agency is focused on making sure people aren't victimized again and again. He told us victims can get locks placed on Social Security numbers so strangers can't keep claiming their loved ones as dependents. But both of these mothers say despite that official answer, they were not allowed to place locks on their kids' socials. They told us if it's really a top priority, the IRS should act like it.
She said, "No, that's all we can do here," and then hung up on me.
When it happened the first time, it should have never happened again the second time.
The IRS reports it stopped $1.3 billion worth of phony refunds and other payments to identity thieves and other fraudsters, and that was just last year. But these victims now say the IRS could be collecting a lot more if they just did a better job handling these calls. Stephen Dean, RTV6.
Wow.